Okay, I think everything is working okay. So this evening we're in Flight Simulator 2024 and we're going to carry on with the around the world escapade that I've been picking away at for the last several months of flying around the world in various GA aircraft in kind of 250 to 300 mile hops or thereabouts along the way, sometimes a bit longer if I have more time. This evening we are taking off from our last stop-off point, which was Shimla in India, and we're going to carry on eastwards into Nepal. So if we go and have a look at the flight plan, I'll just get rid of the search dialog out of the way and the view of the aircraft. So there we can see we're at Shimla on the edge of the mountains, so we'll be skirting along the edge of the mountains. Hopefully it'll be nice and pretty along the way. I'm setting off, I've set the time for about 8:45 in the morning, and then we're going to fly down towards Dehradun, and then over towards Rudrapray, then over to Pithogar, then down to Dhangadhi, and then over to Surkhet. So we'll be doing touch and goes along the way. I don't think we'll run out of fuel, but we'll find that one out on the way. Might have to stop and buy some. But yeah, it shouldn't be too long a flight because we've got the Velocity XL from Black Square, which is quite a quick aeroplane. So we'll see how we get on with it. It's got the TDS navigation system internally, so if we just go and jump inside, you can see it's glass cockpit. It's a tiny little aeroplane. I can hardly hear a breath of wind outside. I don't know if that's I need to turn my sound up maybe. Yeah, you can see, look, the windsock. Okay, let's go and make sure that I've got live weather on. That could make all the difference, couldn't it? Yeah, I haven't. So, oh, that's live time. I don't necessarily want live time, but I'd like to have live weather and just wind the time back to, as I said, about 8:30 in the morning local time would be good for us. So we have live weather. So I think it is just, yeah, there's hardly a breath of wind. Okay, so I guess first things first, let's go and have a look around the aeroplane and remind ourselves how this aeroplane works. So first things first, we go and shut the door. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. The simulator is so annoying sometimes. There we go. So battery master switch goes on and things are coming on around the cockpit. I'm just going to go and check in the simulator what I've got set up in terms of controls. So we're going to go and say throttle quadrant, and I've got basic throttle and propeller controls mapped. Okay, that's good. So let's go and sit in the middle. You can see the systems are booting up as we talk. Okay, so we should get throttle control on one stick and propeller on the next, and mixture over, obviously over on the far side. So we'll go and advance the mixture control. And we'll have a look overhead and see what we need to do. So there's the mags, left mag, right mag, fuel pump on, and then we'll put the nav lights on. And should we give the engine a spin? So just crack the so propeller to max, crack the throttle open a little bit, make sure we got the parking brake on, and start the engine. Oh, it would help if I pushed in the fuel cut-offs, wouldn't it? I thought, why isn't the engine turning over? That sounds a bit better. So let's turn the fuel pump off. Okay, alternate master is on, radio master on, so that should give us the other screens, and it does. and everything's slowly booting up. So bring the engine back to tick over. So this aeroplane...
TOS, system test OK.
That's a bit loud, but oh well. This aeroplane does have like a simplified tablet compared to some of the other black square aeroplanes. It's pretty good. So if we go and pop that away for the moment, clear the messages about the licensing from the TDS, and go into flight plan, and we'll quickly program our flight plan. So VISM to VIDN. Dehradun. And then VARD. I'm going to apologise now for my pronunciations. Obviously I'm not native to any of these places. So VIDF. Hopefully we'll be able to get the Say Intentions tour guide to help us. Oh, it hasn't found it. VIDF Pith. Really? Add waypoint. I think it's got VARD wrong as well then. Yeah, it has, look. Oh, so maybe we're not going to be doing any flying using the... Maybe we'll just go point to point and we'll go to Surkhet then. VNSK is our eventual waypoint. So if we go and click on this one and remove it. And just put in... remove that one. And it was VNSK, wasn't it? Surkhet, enter. Interesting, so it hasn't got all the way, it hasn't got all of the airports you might wish it to have in it. That's fine, it still gives us a half decent map. And we get another map here. And we get another map here. So we'll see how we get on. So hello to anybody watching on the live stream. Nice to see you there this evening. Okay, so let's just have a double check around in the cockpit. We've got oil, temperatures, pressures and temperatures, and fuel quantity. You can see we're full of fuel. So let's go and calibrate the altimeter as well. That's that done. We'll probably be only going up to about 8,000 feet maximum along the way. So if we go and have a little look at LittleNavMap, VIDN, we could put that on the route, couldn't we? Because it was there. That's a good point, actually. If we come back out of here, I just want to try something. I'm not sure if this is compatible with doing it. This is still complaining about us. I was saying there's an update. I'm going to try something. A bit of a trick. So flight plan. Copy our flight plan from LittleNavMap to the clipboard. And then go back into a browser. Go to planner.flightsimulator.com and log in with my Xbox account. And that's me. It's all correct. Thank you very much, Microsoft. And yes, I'm not really interested in your changes. So let's paste my route from LittleNavMap in here, get rid of the speed and altitude, say it's VFR and save it. So that will plot it on the map for us. Yeah, it's got airfields missing that are in here, but not even in Planner.Flight Simulator. That's really unfortunate, isn't it? So what we could do then, I've done this once before, where we know that these, there's 2 waypoints missing basically. So what we'll do is go add position and delete. We've had this happen with rural areas in the past. We have actually got a waypoint here, look, add Donku and delete. Was there any waypoints near here? I don't think there was there? No. So, copy that one to the clipboard. Close that. Paste that. Delete that. Save that. There we go. So then if we save this, I'm just wondering if I can get it to load it into the aeroplane via the back door route. So if we come back out of here, look at the map, let's zoom out a bit so then we'll see if it's worked or not. So there's our straight line route. So if we open the tablet in the aeroplane, go to the navigation page and the route and open it from the web and load the one we've just saved. So there's the route. So what we're going to try is send this to the avionics. No, it didn't work. It was worth a go. Excuse me a moment, I'm just going to go and cough my lungs up. Okay, I'm back. This is the Velocity XL for anybody that's wondering. Okay, so we'll put the air conditioning on. Door seals, we can inflate and deflate them, we can power them up or not. There's tons of things you can do in these airplanes. It's got an automatic cabin air conditioning system, which we will be making full use of. So if we have a look at this from outside, okay, I don't think they have a... oh, they do have a tower here. That changes things slightly. So which way's the wind? Which way would we be expecting to go? 4 knots. Well, let's see what they say. We'll just follow their instruction. So it's going to be Shimla Tower, and we are going to be today velocity 285 Victor Lima. Just double check. So Shimla Tower, Victor 285, sorry, velocity 285 Victor Lima, requesting taxi to runway for immediate departure.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 14, taxi at your discretion.
Runway 14, taxi at our discretion, velocity Victor Lima. Thank you. Okay, let's get the head tracking on.
Approaching runway 14.
Okay, the landing lights on, the strobe lights on now, now we're on the runway. So we're going to have a small tailwind on the way down the runway. Tower, velocity 285 Victor Lima, holding short runway 14 for immediate departure.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 14, wind 360 at 6, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, velocity 5 Victor Lima. We have a bumpy runway. Gear up. going to be very picturesque, isn't it, on the way? Let me just mute my phone. My daughter's boyfriend goes in and out of the house about 5 times a night with cigarettes. It sets the alarms off every time. Okay, let's have a look at this from outside. So what's our cruise speed going to be like today? I guess we ought to go and check the map then. If we're having to use LittleNavMap for the primary navigation source, we've got 80 miles down to Dehradun, a course of about 130 degrees. So if we go and set the... I'm just going to set head tracking off for a moment. If we go and set the heading marker to 132 degrees, I think it was. This gives us some reference. It's a bit misty, isn't it? So doing about 150 knots at 70 to 80% power and RPM, so we're flat, right in the middle of the green on the gauges. It does have an autopilot, but I'm going to hand fly for a bit, because where's the fun in going via autopilot everywhere? It can fly to colossal altitudes as well. It can go up to 30,000 feet, this little aeroplane. So we don't need the landing lights on anymore. We'll go and put the pitot heat on now. And we should be good to go. It's wanting to climb all the time. Trimming it madly as we travel along. Try and stabilize it.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Oh, I should
Terrain
stop
ahead.
the tours.
Pull up. Terrain ahead.
Otherwise that's going to really annoy us. Just pulling the power down to 50% as
500.
we descend. Look at that. The wind over these peaks is kicking us around. Because we're only in a little light aeroplane, so obviously it is affected enormously.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Leaving your area, frequency change approved. Velocity 285 Victor Lima. So let's go and put ourselves on to Common Traffic Advisory frequency, and we're good to go. We could get flight following. Should we do it, just so we got something going on in the background? So we want to go to centre, don't we? 119.5. And before we do that, so menu. Oh, it's up here, isn't it? Com radio, and then the transponder's right there. So we need to report our position and altitude when we're calling in to get centre. So we're about 20 miles southeast of Shimla.
Since we're in the skies
7,000.
near Shimla, let me tell you about the Shimla airport itself. This airport, perched dramatically on a ridge at about 5,000 feet above sea level, is one of the most challenging and scenic airports in India. Opened in 1987, it has a famously short runway, just 1,230 meters long, which means pilots really earn their stripes landing here. The airport serves as a gateway to the beautiful hill station of Shimla, a favorite getaway since the British colonial era.
Okay, that's that done. We have got the tour guide switched on, so she's going to be piping up with bits and pieces along the way. Hopefully it won't be too annoying.
500.
Centre velocity 285 Victor Lima, about 20 miles southeast of Shimla at 7,000 feet. Requesting flight following.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, say position, altitude and destination.
Velocity 285 Victor Lima, requesting flight following. We are 20 miles southeast of Shimla, 7,000 feet, on our way to Surkhet.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima. Flight following is on request. Squawk 5546 the NIDET. Velocity 5 Victor Lima, radar contact. 23 southeast of Shimla at 7,000 feet. Jubahati QNH 1010.
Copy weather, Victor Lima. Okay, so the idea of doing flight following is the radar will keep track of us, so if we do go down in the middle of nowhere for no reason, they know where we were because they were keeping an eye on us. So on our way down to Dehradun. So let's go and we'll go through the hills because it makes it a bit more interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, this thing picks up speed, doesn't it? Once everything's folded away, even at 70% power, look, it's going out towards the airframe limit. So, while we're flying along, I'll be looking at a map as well. I've got Navigraph to one side of me. I don't have the route programmed, so what I can do is go and open Navigraph here as well, and we'll paste what we've got. So import, no, we don't want to import, we want to do a new flight. Let's keep an eye on this for a moment, make sure we don't slam into a hillside while we're doing this. So new flight, click the pencil, paste what we had from LittleNavMap in here, press enter, and there's our route. So there's our aeroplane. We can put this on world map. And the advantage of doing that is I can pull it up on my second screen. And then I can tell you where we are along the way and ask the tour guide about the various places as well.
500. 500.
Obviously, at the moment, we're over mountains. There's not very many places to talk about. There's a little place called Ganog, where we're just about to fly over the top of. So should we go and ask
Since
her
we're
about
flying
it?
near Shimla, let me tell you about the city itself. Shimla was
Can
once
we get
the summer
interrupted, do you
capital
think?
of British India, chosen for its cool climate and stunning mountain views. The city is famous for its colonial era
Hi, Sarah.
architecture,
Can
like
we
the
ask you a different
Viceregal
question?
Lodge, which was completed in 1888
we
and
have to wait
once
for it to
housed the
finish.
British Viceroy. Shimla is also known for its narrow gauge railway, a UNESCO World Heritage Site which winds through 102 tunnels and over
500.
864 bridges. Talk about a scenic commute. And if you ever wondered why
500.
monkeys seem to run the place, it's because Jakku Hill, the highest point in Shimla, is home to a massive Hanuman statue and a whole troop of cheeky residents. Of course, ask away. I'm ready for anything as long as it doesn't involve math or parallel parking an airplane. What's on your mind?
Hi, Sarah. We've just passed over a place called Ganog. Do you know much about it?
Ganog is a small village in Himachal Pradesh, mostly known for its scenic mountain surroundings and traditional hillside homes. But it doesn't have any major historical sites or events tied to it.
Delhi Control, Ukraine Alliance 4150, flight level 340.
So,
Ukraine
Sarah,
Alliance
can you tell us more
4150,
about
radar
this area
contact.
of India that we're flying over?
This area of India is part of Himachal Pradesh, known for its dramatic Himalayan foothills, terraced fields, and pine forests. The region is popular with trekkers and adventure seekers, and it's dotted with small villages that have been here for centuries. The landscape changes quickly from deep valleys to steep ridges, making it a favorite for pilots who love a challenge. The weather here can shift fast, which keeps things interesting for anyone flying or hiking.
500.
So, Sarah, on the bend of the river in front of us, there's a place called Simbrief. Can you tell us about it?
Simbrief is a small riverside settlement, mostly known for its traditional Himachali homes and terraced fields.
That's all she's going to tell us. Are there any really good stories about adventures in these hills of people that have gone missing or anything like that?
Absolutely. These hills are famous for stories of trekkers and shepherds who have vanished in the dense forests and sudden mountain fogs. Local folklore often blames mischievous spirits or the elusive snow leopard for these disappearances, making it a favorite topic around campfires.
Do you know any of the stories?
Absolutely. One of the most famous stories from these hills is about the mysterious disappearance of a British trekker in the early 1900s. He set out to explore the forests near Shimla and was never seen again. Locals still whisper about strange lights and eerie sounds in those woods. Some say he was taken by spirits, others blame wild animals, but no one really knows. These tales have given the area a bit of a spooky reputation. And every now and then, hikers report odd happenings like hearing footsteps when they're alone.
Scenery looks incredible, doesn't it? So let's have a look at this aeroplane from outside then. So this is the Velocity XL from Black Square. It's very, very straightforward to operate. It's quite quick, as you've seen. It's very easy to fly, very stable. I wouldn't recommend going into the snow-capped hills with it. I don't think it deals with cold very well. So it hasn't got anti-icing on the windshields, for example. It's all quite minimal inside, isn't it? Okay, so this is the 17th leg of the round-the-world trip. I can't believe we're on leg 17 already. We started out in the UK and we've flown across Europe. Obviously now we are in Asia, or the top of Asia. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. I used to have there was a plan originally, but I'm just heading in the general direction now. It's going eastwards.
Delhi Control, Bangla Star 90985, flight level 220.
Bangla Star 90985, radar contact.
I wonder if I file the flight plan with Simbrief, if I can load it into this from Simbrief. Should we try it? So if I go to simbrief.com, I'm probably not allowed to while I'm in the air, but it's worth a go, isn't it? Accept, log in, sign in with my Google account, me. Just making sure the airplane's still going in a fairly straight line. Create a new flight from, so we'll call this just W for world and 17, or RTW, round the world 17, and we are going from VISM to VNSK. And we are in the velocity, and I'm guessing the velocity won't be in here. I'll be highly surprised if it is. Let's just have a quick look at the airplane before we go and crash, because we're not on autopilot. Should we put ourselves on autopilot for a few minutes?
Since there aren't any major landmarks right under us, let me tell you about the city of Dehradun, which is nearby. Dehradun is the capital of Uttarakhand and is famous for its beautiful valleys and the foothills
I'm just
of the
undoing
Himalayas.
the trim that the
The city
autopilot
is
just
home to
wound
the
in.
Forest Research
Flight
Institute,
259
an
Whiskey.
impressive colonial-era building completed in 1929, which looks like something straight out of a movie set. Dehradun is also known for its prestigious schools, like the Doon School and Welham, which have educated some of India's most famous personalities.
There we go. So, now we know the airplane's going to go in a straight line, even though it's not going the right straight line, but we were going to go and put this flight plan into Simbrief, weren't we, very quickly. So if we just say that and analyze routes, that's fine. We just want to do a VFR plan, don't we? And I can't remember where that is. To say it's not IFR. To be honest, it really doesn't matter for our purposes today. We'll just generate flight. Because the reason we're doing this is just to get this route into here. So let's turn the head tracking off for a moment. Menu.
Delhi Control, Mizzou 90364, flight level 350.
Back.
Mizzou
Flight
90364,
plan.
radar contact.
Menu. Catalog. Menu. Import. Oh, it's doing that. That's a shame. Is it not? I thought it had Simbrief. Is it in its menu somewhere? Let's just keep an eye out for the hills before we go digging through the menus. Charts, flight plan, system. This is one of those times when I wish I had a better memory than I've got. Utilities. There's nothing about Simbrief here, is there? Flight plan. Menu. It would have been there, and I can't remember how you get it to do it.
Delhi Control, colorful 6430, flight
But
level
what we
340.
could do is go to the Simbrief downloader, and I think that I've already Oh, we have to update it. Of course we do, because anytime you load any piece of software for a computer, you have to update it. We're going to slam into those hills unless we're very careful. Gonna have to do it in a moment. So let's turn the autopilot off. Trying to multitask. I'm not great at multitasking. So we are almost on top of our first waypoint to do a touch and go. So we're coming in towards Dehradun, and have they got a tower? They do. 125475. So let's go and pull up say intentions. Dehradun, there we go. So we'll go to the tower frequency. Dehradun, velocity 285 Victor Lima, requesting touch and go. There's an airplane up there.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 26, left circuits approved. Report downwind each time.
Runway 26, circuits approved, Victor Lima. So let's go and have a look. They just disappeared, didn't they? So we need to go... Did they say left circuits? So if we go around the back and go that way for our touch and go. I presume this is it here.
At our 3 o'clock, about 6 kilometers out, you'll spot a large stadium. That's the Rajiv Gandhi International Cricket Stadium in Dehradun. Opened in 2016, it's one of the newest cricket stadiums in India and can seat around 25,000 fans. Imagine the roar during a big match. The stadium has already hosted international games, including T20S and ODIs, and even saw Afghanistan use it as their home ground for a while. From up here, you can see the oval shape and the floodlights that make night games possible. If you ever wonder why the grass looks so perfect, it's because they use a special Bermuda variety that can handle both the monsoon rains and the blazing summer sun.
Okay. So there's the airfield. Let's go and just reappraise what they said. Yeah, left circuits, runway 26 left circuits. So when we're downwind, we will announce our position and hopefully get clearance. So what's the altitude of the airfield? Let's just double check that. 1800, so 2800 feet we want to be at. And we're at 6800 at the moment, so we're going to drop. There's an airplane on approach the opposite direction. Figure that one out.
Lima Victor Zulu Charlie Hotel, contact departure. Safe travels.
Departure for Lima Victor Zulu Charlie Hotel. Good day.
The tower, velocity 285, Victor Lima, downwind for touch and go, runway 26 left.
Approaching runway 8. Caution! Caution!
Well, it's not 26 left, is it? It's 26 left circuits. But anyway, I'm guessing we have to wait for him to get out of the way. They haven't come back to us, have they? Unless he did and it didn't get announced.
Dehradun Tower, iFly 8782, established on the ILS runway 8.
Let's see where he
iFly
is.
8782, roger.
He hasn't come off the runway, has he? Could be a multiplayer aircraft, I guess. Tower, velocity 285, Victor Lima, turning for finals, touch and go, runway 26.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 26, cleared touch and go.
Clear touch and go, runway 26, velocity 5 Victor Lima.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 26, cleared for touch and go.
Approaching runway 26.
Trying to slow this thing down.
500.
And there's another airliner coming in. We're not going to be able to do this, are we? Velocity 285 Victor Lima, there are other aircraft on the runway.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, go around. Maintain 2,000 feet. Advise when ready for another approach.
Going around, Victor Lima.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, climb altitude 3,000 feet. Join left downwind runway 26.
Climbing 3,000, join left downwind runway 26, velocity 285 Victor Lima.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 26, cleared for touch and go.
Cleared for touch and go, runway 26, velocity 5 Victor Lima. I'm going to side slip it to lose some speed and height in a hurry. Which is why we appear to be crabbing so hilariously. Because I'm holding it on the ailerons.
500.
There we go. There's another aeroplane coming in, I don't believe this. Well, I'm going to do my touch and go over the top of him. I think it's a multiplayer user. Okay, we'll just leave to the southwest,
Dehradun Tower, reply
or southeast even.
established on the RNAV Twi, runway 08.
Flight
Well,
7274, roger.
Thank you so much for the donation in the live stream, much appreciated. Dehradun Tower, velocity 285 Victor Lima, leaving your airspace to the southeast.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, leaving airspace to southeast, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, 5 Victor Lima. So we can go back to centre, because they had flight following. Centre, velocity 5 Victor Lima, back with you, 3,000 feet, departing Dehradun.
At our 3 o'clock, just 1 kilometer out, you'll
Velocity
spot Fun
285
Valley.
Victor.
It's
Lima,
one of the
Delhi
largest
Control.
amusement
Good
and
morning,
water parks
Dehradun.
in this part of
Navigraph.
India. And you can actually see the winding water slides from up here.
QNH 1008, Victor Lima.
It's a favorite weekend escape for families from Dehradun, Haridwar, and Rishikesh. The park is set right between the Ganges
So,
and
I was going
Yamuna
to see if I
rivers,
could load
so
this,
it's
wasn't
surrounded
I?
by lush greenery, making it look almost like a mirage
In order
in
to
the
do
hills.
that,
If you listen closely, you might even imagine the distant sound of kids screaming as they zip down the slides.
yeah, I've got it set up, look, export. So VISM is the file it's just made. So if we go and go import, there it is. And we've now got our route. There's always a way. I guess now we have to tell it which leg we're doing. So we've just left, we're on our way to Dhangadhi, aren't we? Do we have to activate leg? Yes. Or is it the, let me just check. On their way to Vard. Maybe it is that one then. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, you can see it on here now. It's not super clear with all the sectors everywhere. But at least we get some timings now. So estimated time en route, 15 minutes to the next airfield. Thankfully this thing can climb. So I'm just pushing the RPM up a little bit. Actually, we've gone a bit mad with the RPM there. Let's go a bit more with the power. So someone's asked, can you import LittleNavMap flight plans into the sim? You've just seen me do it by hook or by crook to get it into the TDS. But you can get them into the sim. What you can do is copy the flight plan route as text in here. Then you can go into Flight Sim Planner and you can paste it into the route box. Then you can save it. And then within the sim, it sounds a little bit terrible, but you can then open the tablet and then you can open from what you've just saved from the web, select your flight plan, which is what I did earlier, and that will put it at least into this tablet. If you want some of these high fidelity packages like the TDS to load it, you have to find other routes, which is what I just did. I went via Simbrief and the Simbrief downloader. So sometimes you have to think a little bit outside of the box to achieve what you want to do, but it's always possible one way or another. And if if all else fails, just fly vectors and look at LittleNavMap out the corner of your eye. So you can see we're headed off towards the next airport, which is this tiny little one called Rudraprayag Airport. Should we ask Sarah about the place we've just been to? So we are departing at the moment Dehradun. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about Dehradun?
Could you please clarify what you'd like to know about? I'm here to answer questions about landmarks, history, or anything aviation related in the area.
We just departed an airfield at a town or city called Dehradun. Do you know anything about it?
Dehradun is the capital of Uttarakhand, known for its beautiful valleys, colonial-era architecture, and as a gateway to the Himalayas. It's famous for the Forest Research Institute and several prestigious schools.
There we go. So she's only got sketchy information about some things. It's still pretty impressive though, isn't it, that we get to talk to a tour guide while we're flying along. So the next place, as we said, is, let me get the name of this right, Rudraprayag. Hi Sarah, we're heading to Rudraprayag next. Do you know much about it?
Rudraprayag is a town in Uttarakhand, famous for being one of the Panch Prayag, the 5 sacred river confluences in the Himalayas, where the Alaknanda and Mandakini rivers meet, and it's a major pilgrimage site for Hindus.
Tell me more about the 5 rivers.
The 5 rivers usually refers to the Punjab region, where the Beas, Chenab, Jhelum, Ravi, and Sutlej rivers flow. These rivers are the reason Punjab's name means land of 5 rivers.
We learn everything on this flight, don't you? This scenery is getting more and more spectacular, isn't it? So as far as I can see, we stay in this valley. Let's have a little look on LittleNavMap to see if this is true. Yeah, it takes us straight to the airport. Excuse me. So if we go and aim to come down over here, and we'll fly low along the valley to give us something to look at.
Delhi Control, Mentari 718, flight level 340. Hi Sarah, what's the name of the river we're flying over the top of right now?
The river we're flying over right now is the Ganges, one of the most famous and sacred rivers in India.
Flight level 350.
Sun Express 5032, radar contact.
River Ganges. Interesting.
Delhi Control, Lucky Air 1000, flight level 340.
Lucky Air 1000, radar contact.
I'm surprised we're picking up Delhi Control from all this distance out.
Delhi Control, Sun Express 5032, flight level 350.
Sun Express 5032, radar contact.
So, about 6 minutes away from the airfield at this speed. As we can see on the TDS look, it gives us distance and estimated time en route to the next leg, and our ground speed. We are shifting. It's a nice little aeroplane, isn't it? So I think it's just the other side of this ridge. I think after the next touch and go, I'll set it up on autopilot to get across to what's the next one called? Pithogar. And I'll go make a coffee. I think I've earned one. Some of those mountains are incredible, aren't they? So we're just in the foothills of the Himalayas along here. If we were to travel north, you'd see some pretty wild and dramatic scenery. Okay, 3 minutes to run at this speed. I don't think this is a controlled airfield. No. So we will just keep an eye out for other traffic and do our best.
Delhi Control, CH14520, flight level 320.
So we'll have to scout out the airfield from above to see which direction. And then check the wind.
Since there aren't any major landmarks directly below us, let me tell you about Gauchar Airstrip, which is just east of our current position. Gauchar Airstrip is a unique little airport nestled in a flat valley surrounded by the towering peaks of Uttarakhand. It was originally constructed during World War II as an emergency landing ground for aircraft operating in the region. Today it's used mostly for small aircraft and helicopters, especially during the annual Gauchar Mela, a local fair that draws crowds from all over the state. The airstrip is famous among pilots for its challenging approach, thanks to the surrounding mountains and unpredictable winds.
That must be the one we're flying to. It's the only airstrip for miles around. Must be known as a local name. Can you imagine trying to navigate around here if you didn't have a map? It's a nightmare, isn't it? There's the airstrip. So do we go left side or right side? Side slip. We'll go right side. So, which is the safest direction to approach from that gives you a climb out angle? Possibly the far end. But then you've got no way into the airport. Although you can climb out, I guess, through that ravine.
$500. 500. 500.
Yeah, it's a bit bigger than it looks, isn't it? It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So we just fly the valley and that will take us on towards the next airfield. So, have I flown into Paro? Yes, lots of times. And Lukla, and
500.
Courchevel. There's Alpe d'Huez is good fun as well. There's a really interesting little airfield around the corner from Courchevel called Valois-Bonnuit, I think it's called. Or Valois-Bonnuit.
500.
Okay, so what I'm going to try is set the CDI mode. It's in FMS already, I think. Yeah, I don't think you actually get...
Delhi Control, Express India 29034, flight level 330.
Express India 2934, radar contact.
Yeah, so GPS mode. And then go and set 8,000 feet, which I haven't done yet. I'm going to turn the head tracking off for a moment so we can do this accurately, or somewhat accurately. And then go autopilot. And then go...
Since there aren't any major landmarks directly below us, let me tell you about the town of Karnaprayag, which is just a bit further along our route. Karnaprayag is one of the 5 sacred confluences, or prayags, of the Alaknanda River, where it meets the Pindar River. According to legend, this is the spot where the great warrior Karna from the Mahabharata meditated and received his divine armor from the sun god. The town is surrounded by dramatic mountain scenery, and from the air, you can often spot the shimmering rivers winding through the valley. So
it's set the speed to the current speed, and then if I push the throttle on, we'll climb more steeply because it will hold that same speed. So we're in GPS mode on the autopilot, we're in indicated airspeed mode, 155. Does that mean then the roller here lets us go for a higher speed? Yes, it does, look. Or higher or lower speed. So let's go out to 180. So it's going to drop the nose to do it. And it's holding off a crosswind. So you can see we're crabbing on the track. So once we get to 180 knots, you'll see the vertical speed pick up. There it goes. And now you can see why I chose 8,000 feet. Although this is saying 9,000 to be absolutely sure of missing the peaks. But I think we'll be good. Famous last words. Okay, so we have the autopilot on at last. We can go and turn off that landing light. We have flight following. We are joining the GPS track down towards the next airfield. Sorry, apologies for that. I just did a huge hiccup. So 15 minutes or so, 50 miles. How are we doing on fuel? Let's go and look at the fuel burn rate. Oh, we got lots of fuel. So at the rate we're going, look, we've got... Does it give us the fuel flow rate? I don't think it does it? No. Oh, that's a shame. So, I'm going to go make this cup of coffee and I'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, I ought to wait actually for this to... This is at 8,000 feet. Yeah, look, it's starting to race. So I've just pulled the power back and we'll let it stabilise. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, contact Delhi Control on 124.55.
Since there aren't any major landmarks directly below us, let me tell you about the closest town, Rudraprayag. This town is famous for its dramatic setting at the confluence of two rivers, the Alaknanda and the Mandakini. It's one of the 5 sacred prayags in the Himalayas, and thousands of pilgrims come here every year. Rudraprayag is named after Rudra, a fierce form of Lord Shiva, and local legends say that God himself appeared here to bless the area. The town has seen some wild stories, including the infamous man-eating leopard of Rudraprayag that terrorized the region in the 1920s, eventually hunted down by the legendary Jim Corbett.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, contact Delhi Control on 124.55.
Lucknow Control, FI 7246, flight level 230.
Radar contact.
Okay, I'm back. I'm just checking the volume to make sure that I have not censored myself. Okay, so where are we in the world? Let's have a look. We're still en route to the next airfield. We are at quite some altitude, but we are climbing, we're traversing this valley. You can see in LittleNavMap as you move along the altitude plot, you get a circle that shows up on the route, which is quite cool. So Bageshwar, we're just going past. Let's ask Sarah. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about Bageshwar that we are just passing? I'm guessing, is that it down there?
Bageshwar is a town in Uttarakhand, known for its ancient Bhagnath temple dedicated to Lord Shiva, which dates back to the 7th century and attracts pilgrims from all over India.
Turkish 2702, radar contact.
That's Bageshwar down there. It's amazing scenery, isn't it? Hi Sarah, so we are on our way to let me get this right, Pithogarh. Can you tell us about it?
Pithogarh is a town in Uttarakhand, India, often called the Little Kashmir because of its beautiful valleys and mountain views. It's known for its historic fort, built in the 18th century by the Gorkhas, and for being a gateway to several Himalayan treks. The town sits at about 5,000 feet above sea level, so from the air, you can spot its terraced fields and winding rivers. Pithogarh also has a fascinating history as a trade route between India and Tibet.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, contact Delhi Control on 124.55.
Contacting Delhi Control 124.55, velocity 285 Victor Lima. Good day. Delhi Control, velocity 285 Victor Lima with you, 8,000 feet en route to Surkhet.
Velocity 285 Victor. Lima, Delhi Control, Suprabhat Pithogarh QNH 1010.
QNH 1010, velocity 285 Victor Lima. So we have a question in the live stream from John Angel. says, "Hey Jonathan, I was trying to fly VOR on VATSIM, but I couldn't find a VOR map. Do you have any ideas?" Yep. LittleNavMap. So this is the free option. I'll show you Navigraph as well in a moment. So you can see I'm flying along. VORs have a circle around them on the map, but they only appear at a certain range when you zoom in and out. So that can be configured in LittleNavMap, but it's default behavior. So when you get closer to them, obviously you can see the compass rose with north indicated, magnetic north, and the frequency. So there's your VOR stations on the map. If you go and look in Navigraph, there's exactly the same thing. So, but you have to choose the appropriate map. So I'm looking at a world map here. So within Navigraph, if I go for an IFR low, so instrument flight rules, you will suddenly see the VORs showing up. But again, you have to zoom in to see them, or to see them as a radial. There's another one, look, but it's really a box with a circle in, or a box with a hexagon in, I should say. You can sometimes see them better if you've got, if you're flying in Europe, for example. If we go back over to mainland Europe, and I've got VFR scenery, so they're very much more obvious. Look, there's circles around them, or circles for airfields. But then here we go. Look, so they've got the compass rings around them. You can see this sort of map in LittleNavMap as well, but you have to go and get an unofficial one. So you get like the US VFR sectional charts. So if you go and look at the US, for example, and there they go, they're just loading up, look. So if you give it a moment, they'll appear. I can't remember if this comes with LittleNavMap or if it's an unofficial add-on.
Control on 124.45.
We have to change again. Contacting Lucknow Control 124.45, velocity 285 Victor Lima, good day. Lucknow Control, velocity 285 Victor Lima with you 8,000 feet.
Velocity 285 Victor, Lima Lucknow Control. Good morning, Pithoragar, QNH 1010.
QNH 1010, velocity 285 Victor Lima. So we're just flying in towards our next destination. So we're probably about, we can have a look inside, can't we? Get an exact number. We are 3 minutes out and we are 10 miles away. And here it comes. Within this system, you get a projected glide distance from your current altitude and speed and aircraft configuration, which I think is quite cool. So notice we don't have the airfield marked, so we're going to have to eyeball it basically. ATC, so there's a comment in the live stream, I'm just going to read it out. ATC was asking if I was comfortable with my aircraft. This was Heathrow. The trouble is, on VATSIM, if you're going to fly into an international airport, not just the controllers, but the wider community of pilots, although they will put up with people as long as you say you're learning and you're a student, and you can, I think you can mark that in VATSIM, that you know that you're learning the ropes. People will give you time, but if it happens too much, you imagine you have learnt the ropes and you're trying to do a flight and you've assigned time that evening to, you've carved out some time in your evening to go do that, and then you get a load of people learning in front of you and struggling, and it's not their fault that they're struggling because they're learning, but it messes your flight up essentially. Which is why I've ended up using Say Intentions so much rather than trying to fight with VATSIM. And plus, the likes of Say Intentions, you can go wherever you like and have full air traffic services coverage. So there's our airfield, look, right in front of us. So let's go and do this. So disable the autopilot. I don't think, this is uncontrolled again. So let's go and have a look at the wind. So we're going to fly from the other end of the airfield. Gives us a slight headwind. But if you want somewhere to learn, sorry, I'm just reading the live stream again. Yes, I'm using a Tobii Eye Tracker. If you want somewhere to learn the ropes of air traffic services with talking to controllers, and you don't want to have the expense of say intentions just yet, but you do want to kind of extend in that direction of talking to people while you're flying, a really good alternative is a group online called My Air. And they meet on Tuesday and Thursday evenings to fly the big jets on group flights together. And one or two of them will nominate themselves as air traffic services on Discord for the evening. So you get to talk to a real human, and they are much more amenable to mentoring people and taking the time. So they really don't mind newcomers coming in. They might say, if you really are starting out, to maybe fly at the back of the pack so you can copy what other people are saying, for example. Or just to listen in for the night. They'll have no problem with you doing that. But a really good, because everybody will be flying the same route broadly, an easy way around it to learn is just to go last. And then you've heard everybody else saying everything on the way in. Or on the way out even, when you're departing as well. So let's get the gear down. But yeah, search for myair-virtual on the internet. They had a flight this evening, 8 o'clock. I missed it because I didn't get set up with the sim in time. Otherwise I would have been off with them.
500.
But that's why I've become such a stalwart of using say intentions. It is so useful because obviously you get full air traffic services coverage wherever you are. But yeah, My Air are really good. They fly at 8 PM UTC throughout the year. They do have a couple of breaks for summer holidays and things like that, but you usually find probably between 8 or 10 of them flying most evenings. Sometimes a lot more, sometimes a few less. But they're a really, really good group, and they're super friendly. So the way it typically works with their flights, they'll have air traffic services for departure of everybody leaving the given destination departure airport. And they'll get everybody up to climb, and once everybody's at climb, they'll have an open mic so everybody can just chat. When everybody gets to top of descent, they'll call, that air traffic services are back in operation, and ask everybody to stop talking.
Since we're flying right over Pithoragarh, let me tell you about the dramatic mountain scenery that surrounds us. The Pithoragarh region is famous for its breathtaking Himalayan views, especially the Panchachuli Peaks, which are a group of 5 snow-capped summits that look like something straight out of a postcard. These peaks are steeped in legend. Locals say they were the cooking hearths of the Pandavas from the Mahabharata during their exile. The valleys below are dotted with ancient temples and terraced fields, and if you look closely, you might spot the winding Kali River, which marks the border with Nepal. This area is also a hotspot for glider pilots and adventure seekers, thanks to the strong mountain updrafts and stunning vistas.
So I believe we're about to go up right over the top of that border that Sarah just told us about. So if we, oh, there's somebody up at high altitude in an airliner. If we look down in the valley, you will see the border between India and Nepal. We're about to go into Nepalese airspace. Could just see the river down there, look. Winding through the bottom of this valley below us. Let's have a look. There it is, look. So when we crest this ridge, you will see the border between India and Nepal. There's the river. Wow, look at this. Look at that road. Okay. So our next stop of our magical mystery tour.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, contact Kathmandu. Control on 126.5.
Contacting Kathmandu Control 126.5, velocity 285 Victor Lima. Good day. Kathmandu Control, velocity 285 Victor Lima with you at 7,000 feet.
Velocity 285 Victor Lima, Kathmandu Control. Good morning, Pithoragar QNH 1009er.
QNH 1009er, velocity 285 Victor Lima. Okay, so we're skirting the border on our way down towards Dhangadhi. So let's go and ask Sarah. Hi Sarah, we're travelling next to Dhangadhi Airport. Can you tell us anything about it?
Dhangadhi Airport is a small airstrip in Uttarakhand, mainly used for regional flights and emergency landings, and it's known for its challenging approach due to the surrounding hills and unpredictable weather.
Victor Tango Whiskey Juliet, Bravo, radar contact.
Scenery around here is amazing, isn't it? So we need to be heading further over the top of this mountain range. We could go around though. So we're down at 6,000 feet at the moment. Let's go and get the autopilot back on. We'll go for indicated airspeed mode and just open the engines up. And that will give us some climb rate. So the other trick we can do obviously is increase the speed so we get there in a timely manner, so it will hold us level for a little while first. So we want to increase our speed to say 180 knots. So the airplane has leveled out. You can see the vertical speed is dropped. And if we give it a bit more power, Just watching the manifold pressure as I do this. We're high enough now that we are altitude limited on terms of power, so we can't actually damage the engine at this altitude or higher. We can damage it with RPM though. Look, we can push it right up against the stops and then let it climb like a very, very fast thing. So coming up through 7,300 feet. See, this is why you have to be so careful, because this is obviously, the route looks like it's fine in LittleNavMap, but these peaks are alarmingly close to our altitude. So just off of the route, either side of the GPS track is higher than the GPS track. I mean, obviously, if you've got a trick like or a trick piece of kit, I should say, like this, you can go and turn on altitude on your display. So you can go to and put terrain on, come back, and it will be color coded. So you'll see it go different colors as we descend. So let's drop ourselves back down to 6,000 feet, yeah? So we go and dial in 6,000. And then we've got a variety of ways we can get back down to 6,000 feet. If we go indicated airspeed mode, it will pick the speed we're doing. And then if we cut the power, it will start descending, because it will maintain the speed we've selected. Which is by far the safer method of descending than using vertical speed mode. So just over the other side of this ridge on the plain, we should find the airfield we're heading towards. Can you see the red is changing shape as we descend? It's getting bigger.
Since there aren't any major points of interest directly below us, let me tell you about the closest city, Pithoragarh. Pithoragarh is often called the Little Kashmir of India because of its stunning valleys and panoramic Himalayan views. The town sits at about 5,000 feet above sea level and is surrounded by terraced fields and winding rivers. It was historically an important stop on trade routes between India and Tibet, and you can still see the old fort built by the Gorkhas in the 18th century. The area is also famous for the Panchachuli Peaks, a group of 5 majestic snow-capped mountains that are steeped in local legend.
So Lee's turned up in the live stream chat and he said this is a weird looking little thing. It really is, isn't it? But it's great fun to fly. Very, very stable. And it's got really trick kit inside of it, which is always nice. So we're down to 6,000 feet, which is what we were asking for. We need to be careful now, so to bring the power back up, to hold our airspeed, because obviously the aeroplane is levelling out. So 5 minutes to run until we get to the airfield. Let's go and find out. I think it's got a tower so we can get instructions. Dhangadhi. Air traffic control 122300. So what we'll do is go and click on the comm radio frequency, and it was 122300.
Victor Tango Charlie Whiskey Papa, direct final. Cleared for the ILS runway 9er approach.
So we've just gone and switched over to the tower. So we'll announce our presence to them. We're about 20 miles to the north. So Dhangadhi Tower. Dhangadhi Tower, velocity 285 Victor Lima, 20 miles north of you, requesting touch and go.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 09, left circuit's approved, report downwind each time.
Runway 09, left circuit's approved, will report downwind each time, Victor Lima. So, thing we want to know is the altitude of the airport, so we can come in at 1,000 feet above it. Elevation 615, so we want to be 1,600 feet by the time we get, over the plane, which we are going to be at pretty soon. So let's go and dial in our altitude. It gives us something to do for the next few minutes, doesn't it? So 1,600. And then go indicated airspeed mode to get that, and pull the power back. And the propeller. Okay, so they told us runway 09, so we need to do a left circuit for 9. So what we'll do is actually turn this way and then turn the reciprocal before we get there, which gives us left pattern for runway 09. So what we'll do then is press the heading knob to put the heading bug the direction we're going. We'll switch to heading bug mode, and we're going to turn 20 degrees left. Which is taking us over here. And then we're going to about turn to 270 degrees when we're a bit closer. Hopefully that makes some sense. So we drop down to 4,000 feet. Let's go and set the barometric pressure to the local barometric pressure. Now they've been telling us QNH in metric, haven't they? Can we change it easily? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, that's just digital, isn't it? Can we go via the settings page or something? Maybe not. Where's the baro? Is there a baro knob? Or is it just done by the touchscreen?
Since there aren't any major points of interest directly below us, let me tell you about the closest city, Dhangadhi. Dhangadhi is one of the largest cities in far western Nepal and serves as a gateway to the beautiful and wild regions of the Terai. The city was established as a municipality in 1976 and has grown rapidly due to its strategic location near the Indian border. Dhangadhi is known for its vibrant local markets and is a hub for travelers heading into the nearby Volanta National Park, which is famous for its grasslands and herds of swamp deer. From the air, you might spot the patchwork of rice paddies and the meandering rivers that define this lush region.
Okay, down to 1,600 feet nearly. We're getting there. Remember, when we get there, we need to bring the power back up. But not too much, because we don't want to be too fast when we come in for our circuit. Or left pattern, sorry, I should say. So we'll be doing a right turn to 270 degrees. So let's go do that now. And let's bring the power off a bit and slow down a bit more. And we'll put the head tracking on so I can look outside and spot the airfield. There it is. So we're going to call downwind to the tower. Tower, velocity 285 Victor Lima, downwind for touch and go, runway 09. Except it's not at 90 degrees. What's going on? Tower, radio check. I think they're having problems. Tower, velocity 285 Victor Lima, downwind for touch and go, runway 29. Runway 09 even.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 29 not available. Runway 09 only. Join left downwind, report downwind each time. Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 09 in use. Join left downwind. Velocity 5 Victor Lima, runway 09 cleared for touch and go.
Cleared for touch and go, runway 09 velocity 285 Victor Lima.
$500.
Approaching runway 9.
Okay. If we take ourselves back out to 6,000 feet, so I'm just rolling in the altitude selector. And then use autopilot, indicated airspeed, and nav mode. And then let's bring in the airspeed to get to a little bit quicker than we're going, hey? So let's go for 180 knots again. And let's go and push on a little bit with the manifold pressure and the RPM. Oh, it's coming up though with inter-turbine temperature temperature warnings. Doesn't like it, look. You can see that lighting up down there a moment ago. So, being asked in the live stream, is this the AI ATC? Yes, it is. It's called Say Intentions. It's a subscription service. There's a link in the notes of the video. You can get a free trial to try it out for a day. It is very, very good. It's completely transformed the way I use the simulator, to be fair. So it doesn't just do air traffic services, it also injects aircraft into the airspace around you. So if we go back to center frequency, you'll hear other aircraft talking to us along the way, or talking to air traffic services, I should say. Although it's very quiet here at the moment, there's not many airplanes around. Well, it's very, very quiet. Look, we're just in a quiet part of the world. Well, there we go. There they are. So there's somebody, you know, 35,000 feet above us at the moment, out there. There's a little Cessna going the opposite direction. There's another one, an SR-22. But yeah, so Say Intentions doesn't just give us air traffic services to talk to. It puts other aeroplanes in the sky doing sensible things, and the controllers communicate with those aircraft. Those aircraft communicate to the controllers. So you'll hear them on the frequency talking. But also it takes account of them being in the airspace, and this is more really important for the big commercial airliners. It will manage the sequencing.
For CF 5077, flight level 320.
There we go. So who was that? I'm looking around on the map to see who it was. Was it that one, 5077?
Sunturk 1477, flight level 350.
That's him.
1477, radar contact.
So he's just passing into this sector.
Air 5619, a direct final. Cleared for the ILS runway 2 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 5500 feet until established.
So you can see it, you can hear it happening there.
5500, cleared for the ILS 2 approach, Buddha Air 5619er.
5619, where is he? Can't see him around. But yeah, it's very, very good. It makes it much more immersive. So, just reading the live stream comments, there's somebody has written, for the benefit of everybody else, they're saying they've just been watching the 747 tutorial I did. They might switch to the A320 to start out before they sign up for VATSIM or the 747, because it's too complicated for them right now. I would say the A320 V2, the Unibuilds one that comes with the SIM, is probably the best plane to learn with, because it's fully featured. The 747 has got bugs in it in the avionics, and yes, you can work around them, but that kind of takes a practiced hand to know when things aren't working as they should.
Descend and maintain altitude 5500 feet until established.
The A320 just tends to work.
For the ILS 2 approach, Buddha Air 6016.
But as I said earlier, if you didn't catch the conversation, this is really for the real Sawyer in the live stream chat. If you want to learn the ropes and not be in such a pressure cooker environment that it might be in VATSIM, look into myair-virtual.com. They are a group of really friendly flight sim nuts, basically, that meet up twice a week. They met up earlier this evening in the UK. They fly at 8 PM UTC for a couple of hours on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and one of them, or more than one sometimes, will be nominated as air traffic services. So you get to talk, but more importantly, you get to be mentored by them, but in a very relaxed, friendly environment. You know, there's no being chided for doing something wrong, as you might with VATSIM maybe. Although VATSIM doesn't always do that. But you don't, you know, there's none of that kind of there's none of the fear. That's the best way to put it. I was going to say about hostility, but it's rare that you ever get hostility on VATSIM.
Contact Circuit Tower 122.5.
122.5 for Buddha Air 5619er.
But yeah, so my air is very, very good in that way, that it's a nice, easy on-ramp to doing air traffic services.
Descend and maintain altitude 5500 feet until established.
descending to 5500. Cleared for the ILS-2 approach, Buddha Air 92928.
A lot of the guys that fly at my air have been flying on simulators for 20, 30, 40 years in some cases. So they know all of the old sims. They've all, you know, seen all of the old airplanes across all the different simulators, and they'll know all about the things that break, the things that go wrong, the things that are difficult to achieve. So they'll have all sorts of advice as well. So we are not climbing to 6,000 because we haven't probably got enough power to do so. Let's just have a look at what we're doing. There we go. We are now climbing. So we're on our way to our final airfield for the day. So we're going to climb over this ridge and then drop in, and you can see that these AI aircraft are coming in here. So we'll switch to their frequency soon. But we need to get over this ridge.
6016 contact Surkhet Tower on 122.5.
122.5 for Buddha Air 6016.
Yeah, the huge attraction for me of Say Intentions is I can fly anytime I like, wherever I like, and I've always got air traffic services coverage of every airport, every sector. I've got ground coverage, I've got centre coverage, I've got radar, I've got ramp coverage, I've got, you know, everything. Clearance for the big airports. It's wonderful. And every actor, well, you know, in the AI world, they've all got different voices, and they are typically regional or regionally accurate. Let's put it that way. So you're going to get Indian voices in India, you're going to get Australian accents in Australia, you're going to get Canadian accents up in Canada, you're going to get North American, various, you know, regional accents. You're going to get English accents in, obviously, over the UK, you're going to get Dutch in the Netherlands. It's wonderful. French, Italian, German. It's very, very clever. And a variety of them. So as you're going between, you know, tower, departures, centre, you're going to get different accents or different, you know, maybe male or female voices as well. And plus all of the other flight crews are all different voices all the time. You know, of people in the airspace around you that are on the radio. Will I be using the Milviz 310R on any legs? I haven't planned to yet. I'm not sure is it compatible with 2024? I'm not sure that it is.
Since there aren't any major points of interest directly below us, let me tell you about the closest city, Dhangadhi. Dhangadhi is one of the largest cities in far western Nepal and serves as a gateway to the beautiful and wild regions of the Terai. The city was established as a municipality in 1976 and has grown rapidly due to its strategic location near the Indian border. Dhangadhi is known for its vibrant local markets and is a hub for travelers heading into the nearby Shuklafanta National Park, which is famous for its grasslands and herds of swamp deer.
I'm just looking for Dhangadhi. Can't see it. I was expecting it to be close to us. Let's ask Sarah about the rivers that we're just crossing over. Hi, Sarah. So I've just gone and said that to air traffic services by accident. Hi, Sarah. What can you tell us about the rivers we're just passing over?
Velocity 285 Victor, Lima, Delhi Control. Good morning. Take report QNH 1007.
The river we're passing over is the Karnali, the longest river in Nepal, which starts in Tibet as the Gauchar and is famous for its wild rapids. Adventurers from all over the world come here for whitewater rafting.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes to run until our final destination this evening, which
Buddha Air
is
90147, contact Surkhet Tower on
Surkhet. There we go.
122.5.
That's the tower we can, or the, you know,
2.5 for Buddha Air 90147.
centre is handing people off to the tower.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, contact Kathmandu Control on 126.5.
Contacting Kathmandu Control 126.5, velocity 285 Victor Lima. Good day. Kathmandu Control, velocity 285 Victor Lima, with you at 6,000 feet en route to Surkhet.
Velocity 285 Victor Lima, Kathmandu Control, good morning, take a port QNH 1007.
QNH 1007, velocity 285 Victor Lima. So we can terminate flight following now. Kathmandu Control, velocity 285 Victor Lima, terminating flight following.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, good day.
Okay, so we're going to use the Mentor now. I've got Chance from Real Sim Gear in the cockpit with us virtually. Hi Chance, what would the VFR squawk code be in India?
In India, the VFR squawk code is 1200. If you're flying VFR, make sure to set your transponder to that code for proper identification.
Oh, there's a button for it, and it worked. There we go. So we're now squawking appropriately for VFR, and we're going to go and change the comm radio over to tower at Surkhet. Show information for Surkhet. We want the comm frequencies, tower 122500. So if we go and change comm to 122500, transfer. Surkhet tower, velocity 285 Victor Lima, approaching you from the southwest, requesting full stop landing.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, winds 300 at 9er, runway 02, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 02, velocity 285 Victor Lima. Okay, let's go and turn then, and head tracking on. Lose some airspeed. Is that the runway? I think it might be. Mountains. Incredible, aren't they? Just going to side slip us for a few moments to lose some speed. And we can get the gear down, because this doesn't have flaps, so you need to be careful, because this is a canard. They don't tend to have flaps, because they wouldn't work. Velocity 285 Victor Lima, turning finals runway 02. Coming in quite steep, but we can side slip that off.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, winds 290 at 6, runway 02, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, runway 02, velocity 285 Victor Lima.
Approaching runway 2.
So I've got full left rudder and a small amount of right aileron to hold us sideways across the airflow. You can see, look, the aeroplane's pointing that way, but we are tracking towards the runway. Just trying to lose some height.
5 Victor Lima, say again, please.
I didn't mean to do that. I mean to do that. Let's bring the
500.
Propeller speed back up. And start to bring the throttle back in. And release the rudder around, and we're flying pointing in the direction we're going now. See waiting for us
Velocity
to
5
then.
Victor Lima, taxi to stand parking 7 at your discretion, monitor this frequency.
Taxiing to stand at our discretion, will monitor this frequency, velocity 285 Victor Lima. In other words, they don't have ground.
Velocity 5 Victor Lima, roger.
Approaching runway 20.
Oh, were we supposed to be over there? I didn't look at the map. I know it's lazy of me, but it's late and I'm tired. Okay, turn the head tracking off. So we just go and starve the engine of fuel, which will stop it dead. We can cut the fuel off here as well, and then go overhead, go and turn the mags off, turn the alternator off, turn the landing lights off, strobe lights, nav lights, radio master switch, pitot heat off, and battery master switch off, and we're cold and dark as quickly as that. And we can pop the doors open as well. Let some air in. And there we go. Our tiny little aeroplane, the Velocity XL, has got us all the way from, let me get this right, from Shimla, along the foothills of the mountains, and then further along the foothills of the mountains into Nepal, and we've arrived at Surkhet. So in the days and weeks to come, we will continue our route east. So we'll probably stay along the mountains unless there's a good reason to be going further south already. Because yeah, we'll end up I guess we could cross through Bangladesh. It's fairly flat. It's going to be quite featureless, isn't it? It'd be quite interesting to go Kathmandu. We'd have to choose the aeroplane to do it, of course, and then go Bhutan. So that obviously invites us to go and visit Paro. And basically we're going to head down towards... No, do we want to go down through Malaysia and along the island chain here? That probably is the better route, isn't it? And then go island hopping to get across the ocean. Obviously you're going to have one huge hop, which is going to be a big jet, I guess. How big's the runway here? So yeah, that's 10,000 feet. That's fine. But yeah, go island hopping and then make our way back up through the Americas. So cut across through Mexico, up the east coast of the US, back over to Nova Scotia, Greenland, Iceland, and then back to the UK the way we came in, or the place we left from. But at the moment, obviously that's going to be weeks and weeks away because we're doing it in these kind of handy 250-mile chunks, which is making it take quite a long time. But it does mean we get to see some of the world, which is obviously, you know, really nice to do. And you see areas you otherwise wouldn't. And sometimes it's really lovely scenery like you've seen here, which is always the best way to be, isn't it? To see some of this beautiful scenery in the sim. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed that today. So that was the Velocity XL with the leg 17 of our route. So we went from Shimla to Surkhet. I'll post this out on the blog. If you didn't know I do this, I post everything that I do on a blog, and you can subscribe by email for free. So that's the wrong one. That's the tech blog. So if we go to johnbeckett.substack.com, it's linked in all the videos I do anyway. So if you go in here, I will very rapidly be posting this out in a few minutes with what we've been up to this evening. But it means that if I've been doing, you know, airplane reviews or whatever, if you subscribe by email, then you'll get an email telling you the moment I've done it, basically. Also, all of the procedures and guides I make are available in here, so the links are in here to them. So that will take you through to, you know, the guides to start airplanes and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed that this evening. See you again soon. Take care.